Chapter 10. High Stakes. Race night, 8 p.m. Tonight was the night. Manuel walked up to his car with Spitfire. Takumi and Bunta were getting in their cars and were going to lead him to where the race was being held, since Manuel didn't know Tokyo or any area in Japan that well. Takumi? Manuel said before he opened his door. Yeah? Takumi looked up. In case this goes horribly wrong, I just want you to know you, your father, Itsuki, and Iketani are some of the greatest people I could have ever met. Thank you for everything you've done for me. This concerned Takumi. Was Manuel nervous? Did he think he might lose? Or even worse, crash and burn? Manuel, my dad says if you worry too much about losing, you usually do, Takumi said. I understand you're worried that this could go badly, but don't think about it.
Exactly,
Spitfire agreed as she got into the passenger seat of the Focus.
Try to stay positive about this. We will win, and we will get my dad and the others back. So don't chicken out on us now.
Manuel sighed and opened the door to his Focus, getting into the driver's seat. He put the key in the ignition and started the car. It's time, he said. The AE86, WRX GC8, and Focus ZX3 then pulled out of the parking area of Fujiwara Tofu and onto the road. They met Akio, Tetsuya, and Reina along the way, whom said they were organizing something before the race to support Manuel. What that something was, they didn't know. After a bit of a drive, they were in Tokyo. Akio and Reina led Manuel and the others to the diner near the Wangan where the race was going to start. Manuel recognized the diner from photos in magazine and TV. This was the same diner near Shinkanjo where the famous Midnight Club used to meet. Even more surprising, he saw all the local drifters that Takumi had raced. The Night Kids, the former Red Suns, the Akina Speed Stars, along with Team Emperor, even some names he didn't recognize, such as Thunderfire and Sidewinder.
These must be your supporters that Akio mentioned,
Spitfire said, putting on her hood quickly before anyone could notice her. Manuel drove into the parking lot and saw Kaito Kirifuda with his Lamborghini Countach, a 5000 QV model. Manuel also saw Kaito's son, whom was his former rival in the Speedmaster competition, Yuya Kirifuda, with what looked like a brand new, recently modified NSX. And he didn't look like he wanted to be there. Bunta wasn't kidding when he said that Countach was a fossil. That thing's gotta be nearly 30 years old, Manuel said as he parked. Looks like it's in very good condition, too. That gave Spitfire an idea. They got out of the car and walked up to Kaito. All of the drifters watched in anticipation.
Well, it looks like you've gathered a crowd,
Kaito said, full of confidence.
Anything else you wish to say before the race?
Just this. High stakes. The loser walks home,
Spitfire said. Kaito and Yuya looked confused, but the drifters started murmuring things to each other wide-eyed. They knew all too well what Spitfire meant.
Excuse me?
Kaito asked. It's something we do back in America. High-stakes racing, Manuel explained. You lose the race, you lose your car. Basically, we hand both our car registrations and other papers to a neutral party, and they hold on to them until the race is over. Whoever wins walks off with both registrations and the loser's car. Kaito cracked an eyebrow, irritated.
You're serious? Why should I have to put my car on the line? Especially to some punk like you. It's only fair that you do!
One of the Night Kids, Shingo, yelled.
Manuel's putting his on the line. You should do the same if you have any honor as a racer.
The Drifters went into an uproar after that, shouting insults and ultimatums at Kaido in Japanese, along with a ton of boos.
All right!
Kaido shouted after a few seconds. He then went to his car and got out his registration, as did Manuel. They then went over and looked to choose someone to hold on to the registrations until the race was over. They eventually decided on Kyoichi Sudo of Team Emperor to hold the registrations of their cars.
Don't get any ideas, Drifter.
Kaido snarled, handing the papers over. Just ignore him, Manuel said, handing his over as well. They then went over to their cars and got ready to race.